Hi guys, and welcome to Dee's Media World. I know it's been a while since I've been on my own channel, but I do have some videos coming up for you guys soon along with this one, and I just wanted to get started. So this video review is actually a movie review for TV1's film that came out this Sunday night called The Secret She Kept. It stars Kyla Pratt, Gavin Houston, Kalita Smith, Vanessa Williams are sort of the main characters. The reason I wanted to do this movie review is for a couple of reasons. The first one is that TV1 itself, the network, is kind of underrated. It's a black-owned network, or it's a black network. It does run a lot of reruns, and I think that's why it kind of gets shunned. It's constantly running reruns of almost every black show you can think of. You know, there's a lot of Living Single reruns, Different World reruns, Good Times, and stuff like that, The Jeffersons. But they actually have some really good content on the channel. I watched Fatal Attraction on there, and Unsung. I think that's probably their most popular show. But this week, they actually had a film starring Kyla Pratt called The Secret She Kept, and I'm not sure if this is a continuous thing where they have new films every Sunday, because next Sunday they actually have a movie coming up with Marcus Houston from Sister Sister, and Wendy Raquel Robinson, who's been in like a ton of stuff really, but I think she's most known for being in Steve Harvey in The Game. But there's a lot of films I think they're starting to come out with, and I thought I wanted to shed some light on the first one that I saw called The Secret She Kept, because this film actually deals with mental illness. We actually are dealing with a character played by Kyla Pratt called Tia, who has she's bipolar and she has a little bit of schizophrenia, and the film deals with mental illness in a way that is important, but it's not like shoving it down your throat like, oh, this is important. Like, it doesn't feel like a PSA movie necessarily. It's just kind of showing or shedding light on, this one woman who has this mental illness. So the film is actually about Kyla Pratt. She's like a lawyer, and she is, at the beginning of the film, she gets engaged. This isn't a spoiler. She gets engaged to Gavin Houston's character called Lance, and he doesn't know she has a mental illness. Her mother, played by Kalita Smith. If you remember Kalita Smith, she played the wife on the Bernie Mac show, and she actually is still acting, by the way. She's just in smaller roles. She plays Kyla Pratt's mother in the film. Only her family, Kyla Pratt's family, knows about her mental illness in the movie. She doesn't tell her fiance because she's afraid if he knows, he'll leave her. In fact, they even say that she's dated other guys before who she didn't tell because of her fear that they would leave her and abandon her. And the guy that she gets engaged to, Lance, he actually has proposed to her 2 other times, and she said no because of those fears. But the third time he asked, she's just like, okay, I'll do it because I love him and I want to be with him, and it is what it is. I'll just keep it a secret even longer. And the film is partially about her sort of keeping this secret from him, but her also being a little in denial about how serious her mental illness is. Like, there's even a discussion in the film about pills and how they sort of affect people who take them with mental illnesses, how they make her feel sluggish 17 hours of the day, how she doesn't feel happier when she's with them, that she feels she could be okay without the pills. And then we kind of learn that she's not really okay with them, that she gets delusional, that certain triggers kind of throw her off balance. And I thought this was a really important movie in the sense that when the movie began and you first see her freak out a little bit, and you first see her freak out when she hears water running. And I remember thinking, I'm not sure what mental illness is it where when you hear water running or things start to feel off balance and unsure. And then I was watching the film more, I learned more about bipolar and schizophrenia behaviors, and I thought that was actually really interesting and important. And the main character's husband, played Lance, the husband, he even says something that I think is really true of people who have mental illness or dealing with people with mental illness, is that, when you first meet them or you're getting to know them, you're thinking, oh, they're just a little quirky, they're just a little weird, they're a little off, but essentially they're fine. Like, maybe that's a personality trait anyway. And then you learn and he gets to know her, finds out that his wife has this mental illness, that it's not a quirk, so to speak. It's actually part of her illness. and that, you know, he thought that that was something cute before, realizes that's a trigger, or that's something that throws her off, or that's the signs of throwing her off. And I thought that was really interesting and important because that feels very relatable. I think everyone, not just in the Black community, but has someone in their family or someone they know who has like a mental illness, and that you kind of can sense when things are not correct with them. And then at first, before you even understood that mental illness, you thought it was something that was kind of off or quirky about their behavior, something a lot more serious than that. The film also kind of deals with kind of the fear of rejection a lot. Like Kyla Pratt's main fear throughout the film, or Tia, that's the character's name, is fear that her husband won't accept her, is fear that once he finds out he'll leave her, that this, it's all these kind of fears. And then her mother, the mother character played by Kyla Smith, she's not very helpful either because she feeds into this. There's also this sense of insecurity because Tia's dad actually left. We find out that he left once he found out she had a mental illness. I'm not going to spoil what happens, but it's not as simple as that. It actually is a little more complicated than that. But there's still this idea of like, oh, I have this mental illness and nobody around me wants to deal with it, so I'll hide it, even though it does nobody any good to hide it. I also like that the film in itself discusses like how acknowledging that you have a mental illness, and this is towards the end of the movie, acknowledging that you have a mental illness and that there are certain things that trigger you, and that when other people are around you that support you, it makes your life easier and healthier. Like so much of this movie is about her hiding her mental illness from her husband, and he finds out pretty early in the movie, but even after he finds out, she still is throwing him away and pushing him away and not wanting to deal with him. But once she eventually comes around, realizes that he's there to stay, that he wants to help and things like that, her mind changes and she feels better and she gets healthier because she's acknowledging that she has this mental illness, that he knows she has this mental illness, and that together they can work on it and try to figure out the best ways to work with it. I think essentially this was actually a really good TV movie, and the fact that it's an all-black cast definitely helps because it is an important topic that we sometimes ignore. But I think it's not just the Black community ignores. I think society at large kind of ignores people with mental illness. They throw crazy at them, they throw weird at them and stuff like that. And the film even discusses that a little bit about the word crazy and how we use the word crazy. So if you ever get a chance to actually watch it on TVONE or on demand, if you go on demand, and I think it's called like African American channels or something like that, you'll be able to find it on there, and it's really good. I would definitely highly recommend it. It's a TV movie. The only downfall is that if you do watch it on TV, there are a lot of commercials. Like, even though it had like a 2-hour spot on TV1, I'm pretty sure that movie was like an hour, and like the other hour was solid commercials. So I was able to fast forward through a lot of it, but if you're not able to, that might get a little frustrating. But that's not particularly unique, because when I watch movies on BET, they take, like, I'm pretty sure they'll take an hour and 30-minute movie and stretch it 3 hours or something, because it feels like I'm watching commercials forever. But overall, I think it was a really good film on TV1. For a TV movie, it was really nice to see some of these Black actors again getting work. Seeing Kyla Pratt again after all these years. Seeing Kyla Smith again after all these years was really nice, and even seeing actors I hadn't really seen before. Seeing Vanessa Williams from Soul Food again was really nice. So it was kind of nice it was this familiarity with these actors. There was all-black cast, good movie, good topic. I really have nothing to complain about, so I say go see the movie as soon as you can. It's on TV. That's kind of what I wanted to say, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!